Tito, that's quite the position. Oh, I gotta wear these. Whoa, this is nuts.
Okay.
What does that
Yeah,
mean?
that's how I have to. I have to time it up when I edit it. I have to time the audio to the audio to the video, and I need like a specific moment that I can tee it to.
Interesting.
Because like in the audio graph, you can like see the spike of the clapping.
This is really legit.
Yeah, just keep this like remotely close to your face. Because if you get far away, it just won't.
Yeah. I can tell. Can you hear me on yours?
Yeah.
Noise.
Can you hear me in mine?
Yep.
Caroline Orban, everybody. I gotta look this place up.
That was crazy.
Are you excited for your massage?
Yeah, I'm excited for my massage. I booked a Swedish. I didn't know if I should get a Swedish or deep tissue, but deep tissue would be too rough for me right now, so I went Swedish.
What does Swedish mean?
It's just more like a more relaxful massage, I would say. Deep tissue, I feel like they really put the elbow grease in there.
We got some after our half marathon. We got them at the Ritz.
Dang.
That was the last time. That was like probably one of the only times I ever got a massage. It was nice.
Did you get the hot stones?
This place. You heard of this?
Woodhouse Spa? No.
Yeah, it's right. It's there.
Wait, so
This
What's
is Clarkson. This is Manchester. So this is like New Ballin or whatever.
Clark's, so that's the opposite way of my house.
Yeah,
Okay.
Towards
no, I
me.
haven't noticed it. Huh.
but it looks like it looks crazy nice, and I don't know anything about it, but it's just a spa.
Yeah. Is it open?
Yeah, it's been open. I don't know anyone that's been to it.
Interesting.
I'm curious if they have, because I wanted to try it if they had one of those like brain room things. But I don't think they do. It's just a spa.
Let's look into it. I feel like the massage might need to be a more frequent thing.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Britt joined. She has a membership to the, not a massage, but the IV place now.
Where she gets a drip?
Yep.
Dang, how often does she get that?
Pretty frequently. She has dehydration problems.
Okay, not funny.
Oh.
I was like, was it she just
But
hungover?
yeah, yeah. But sometimes her hangovers are pretty severe.
Yeah, I know.
But I think it's like if you go like twice a month, it's worth it, basically.
I don't even know how much you pay. Also, do you want me to go like this when I drink?
No,
Okay.
you're fine. Yeah, Caroline Orban, everybody.
Berra.
Caroline Berra, everybody. Duh.
I just signed the table. I'm like, this is weird putting Berra on your
Caroline
table.
Berra. Have you changed your license yet?
Yep, 2 years later.
2 years
Passport
later.
and license. I was Orban up until last summer
Why'd you wait?
because the process sucks.
Really?
It takes, I mean, if I would have sat down and did it, I could have. I actually ordered this box. It was like $80, and they send you all the envelopes of everything you need, a checklist of everything you need to do. Didn't open it until last summer.
Good Lord,
Which I
Caroline.
would recommend it. It's worth the money. Saves you time, but I don't know. We also had a ton of travel booked, and I didn't want to wait
Oh, yeah.
for a new passport, new license.
And be without something.
Yeah. So,
That makes sense. I need to redo mine. I tried to redo mine the other day. My address is still Dad's Wilson house.
wait, did they let you go in? Didn't you have an issue with it not being close to expiration?
Yeah, because I tried to get the real ID, but supposedly I should have just told him I lost it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know why it matters. Yeah, I tried to get the real ID, but I wasn't 6 months out from expiration, so they wouldn't let me.
That makes no sense if it's a requirement.
Yeah, but it was already, because the 6 months would be June,
Right.
like this weekend or whatever.
Right.
But you need the real ID in whatever May. She's like, were you traveling? I was like, I don't think so. She's like, well, then I guess you'll be fine.
I guess you're not flying. I was going to say if you're flying to Destin, but you're not. You'll have
Yeah,
to
so
travel
I
with
got to
your
get
passport.
mine. But yeah, I have never. And Dad's Wilson address was just an accident because when I went to because my old one was Mom's, and then when I redid it when I was 18 or 21,
Yeah.
probably 21,
Uh-huh.
I was at Dad's
That's actually funny you say that. Last night I had to go to Mom's old house on Honey Locust
last night.
because Kennedy accidentally shipped a package there because her Apple Pay was hooked up.
Oh, that's
and she
funny.
couldn't review the details, whatever, sent it there. It was weird driving back.
I bet.
But
The house still look the same?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when I was at Dad's, it just like, because you had to take something with your name on it, and he had my report card sitting there.
Yeah.
And I just thought I had to prove my address, yeah.
We have to update ours to Missouri. You're supposed to do it within 30 days of living here.
Joe Grimes was saying that the exact thing the other day.
I don't know how they know if you've been here for 30 days. Like, our plates are still Florida, too.
That's what I've always wondered, the plate thing.
Well, if they run it and they look up who's attached to the plate, I'm assuming there's an address under that name.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be updated in their system or who updates that.
I guess it's probably still be registered to your Florida house.
Probably. Wow. Technically, we still are, so we're technically still Florida residents.
Technically. Yeah, so that's one reason. There's a lot of reasons I was looking forward to having you in here.
Uh-huh.
My older sister, favorite older sister. Nice. Explain your job right now, your current career. I tried to tell someone about it the other day. I really couldn't.
Well, no, it's very uniquely niche.
I said.
Should be interesting.
I said like a project manager / project team lead for a food truck procurement company.
I mean, it's not terrible. Close. So I'm a product manager.
Okay.
For, I guess you could. So it is a startup company. It's a software company that books. We have a lot of things we can do. We can book food trucks for like events, corporate lunches, whatever. So we're a booking management company. But on the other side, we have this tech stack where we can build, it could be a food truck or it could be like a brick and mortar, a mobile app where you can order ahead or you can place orders from a mobile app. So our engineers have the ability to create a mobile app for this vendor that they can use, which actually, it's pretty cool. We have a lot of mobile apps now, and then we also do kiosk, so like an iPad. When you walk up to a food truck and you place an order on an iPad, we have that software as well that a food truck can utilize. And then we also have our software allows reporting with all of these order ahead orders that are placed that we can provide to the vendor so they can see their numbers and how they're doing on a day-to-day basis, what items are selling the best, etc.
Wow, I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
I remember the app thing because I remember you launching some of them.
Yeah. So going back to product manager of this product, of all these things that we do, I basically manage.
So when you say product, you're talking about the
everything
software as a whole.
Software, yeah.
Okay.
And then I manage a handful of engineers, and I kind of take feedback from my team, customers, vendors that work with us. They request builds, they request fixes. And this is kind of getting like development speaking, create a ticket and give it to the engineers and relay the message and stand alongside them while they're building it or fixing it. And then I also have done a lot of testing, which not my favorite part of the job, but
like testing the stuff they're making.
Yeah, I would prefer to stay, and my boss knows this, I would prefer to stay on just like the communication side of it rather than, but it is, with a startup, some of you may know, you wear a lot of hats. So
yeah.
Kind of comes with the territory. But yeah, product manager of a software company.
City Flavor, right?
City Flavor, yep.
The communication side of it, like team side or customer side?
I do get on customer calls, but we have like specific team, like I have team members who are meant to get on those customer calls, and then they talk to me, and then I talk to the engineers. But sometimes it's just easier for me to get on with the customer and just take it. If it's like a high priority or urgent, I just get on the call. But yeah, it's crazy because I've been there it'll be 4 years in November.
Yeah.
And I didn't start as a product manager.
Yeah.
I started as the event coordinator where I was actually booking the food trucks for the events.
That's right. For like corporate gigs or whatever.
Birthday parties, weddings, a little bit of everything. We'd honestly book whatever would come our way. But yeah, we've really excelled and expanded.
Yeah, because this probably, where you guys are at now, probably wasn't on the flight path initially.
No. I wouldn't say. And we're like, I don't know exactly how many people we have now. I would say 20. We're still very small. But I mean, we do, for example, on the corporate side, Tesla is one of our biggest contracts. We provide all of their employee meals 24/7, 7 days a week.
Really?
We have food trucks in some of the cafes, yeah. Which has been really cool.
I didn't know that. That is cool. Down in what, Austin, I guess?
Austin, the Bay, and Reno.
Oh.
San Francisco, Bay Area. And I got to go on site in Austin.
How was that?
Which was crazy. It was a no phone. You couldn't have, like, take any pictures or videos when we were walking around, but it was crazy to see all the robots in there building things.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
But, yeah, it's crazy that it'll be 4 years. I literally was a LinkedIn ad, sponsored ad.
No way.
Yeah, it was crazy. It just popped up as I was scrolling, and it wasn't even, I was in Madison, Wisconsin at this time, and it was, like, the job was in Oakland, California, which is where it started, and I don't even know how it became a sponsored.
What the hell? Really?
I just was like, that sounds cool, and now here we are 4 years later.
Well, it's fitting for the foodie stuff.
I know. I know.
That's what I was kind of, I was interested, looking forward to, because the path for you getting, it seems like you like what you do, and it seems like you're good at what you do, but your path to where you've gotten has been all over the place.
Not direct.
Yeah.
For sure. What I graduated with was, what did I graduate with? Family studies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
With
I
a
didn't know
business
that.
minor. And I really wanted to be a counselor of some sort or work with kids, but then that required more school, and I was just not about it.
Like Kennedy.
Yep. Go Kennedy. Props to her. But
Yeah,
when I graduated, I took some time to figure out what I wanted to do. I was in retail for a second, and then I became a travel consultant for, I guess, a couple years. And then 2020 came around, and everyone got furloughed. And then I started my own business. And then I just wasn't. You got to be real passionate to keep something like that, a one-man show,
Maple Ray.
afloat.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I tried it, and I do think that experience helped me get hired with like the background of me showing ownership.
Yeah.
Because a startup company, you want to hire someone who you're not being micromanaged.
Yeah, right.
And so they want to see that you can hold your own.
Take initiative and take care of shit. Yeah.
So I do think, I know my path wasn't direct, but I do think my experience opening my own business helped me get the job at a startup company. As weird as it sounds, they weren't really related, but I had the, qualities to maintain that role or help a startup grow. So yeah, it's been interesting.
When you were at Merritt's, how long were you at Merritt's before you got furloughed? You were there a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I think I graduated in 17. I think I started in the spring of 18. And then I got furloughed in the fall of 2020, so a year and a half, 2 years.
Really? That's just such, I guess because you were gone. That's such a vague memory of mine.
I know. Well, I
guess
know.
you had that crazy desk set up.
Yeah.
With all of the shit.
Yeah, they let me go remote in Madison. It must have been a few months after I started, which was super nice. But yeah, I was fully remote in Madison.
That's crazy.
And then, 2020 was crazy for travel.
Because, you got, getting I don't know the difference between fired, let go, and furloughed. Mm-hmm. I always tell people I was fired. You weren't fired, you're let go. I'm like, what's the fucking difference?
I forget what that sounds terrible. Does furlough mean you have...
I think they can, technically bring you back or something.
But you're not getting...
Oh.
Do you get paid for a little bit? I honestly do not remember what happened in those months.
Suspension or discharge of a worker or workers on account of economic conditions or shortage of work, especially when temporary.
So do they pay you in that time? I feel like
Doesn't sound like it. I guess firing is when you fucked up and let goes probably in the same sense of furloughing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Getting let go though, that rocked my world.
When was that? That was was it 2020?
March 2020.
Yeah.
Because I was only at my job for 6 months or something.
Right. Yeah, it was crazy.
Which is nuts because it obviously set me on my trajectory now. And I can't imagine, no offense to that place, I can't imagine my life still being there.
Right.
Which is, it's funny you say that about the entrepreneurship thing and going to a startup. Because I've always had that thought as well. And I think that was an attribute that's helped me get hired at Balto was showing or having that kind of a drive. And my friend Gideon, who he's been on a couple times, he has that innate drive or whatever, and he was like one of the he hasn't been with Balto for a while, but he was like one of the standout people.
Right.
And I think that those correlated. Like they were never not going to hire him.
Right.
And he was never not going to work at a startup kind of a thing.
Right. Some people just have that personality or drive to work at a startup. It's not for everyone, that's for sure.
So when you got let go, how long furloughed, sorry. And then when did Maple Ray come about?
I think I got furloughed. I think I made it till August.
Of 2020?
Yeah, which that was pretty far.
Yeah. All things considered.
I mean, I forget how it was working. I feel like it was every other Friday. There was like a round.
Oh my God.
Or something. I don't know how often it was.
And you're just waiting for like an email or something? It was an email or a
call. Yeah. And I remember there was one email we got. We were actually in South Dakota. I was still working. We were in that cabin.
Yeah.
What was that called? The Black Hills? No.
Oh, where we were specifically? I don't remember.
Whatever,
we went to the Black Hills.
And I was waiting. That 1 week I was waiting, but I made it through that round. And then it was like the next one. I didn't make it. But that was in August, and then I think I started Maple Ray in February. So I had a good chunk of time where I was filing for unemployment and then trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I don't even know if I forget if I applied to other jobs in the meantime or if I was just like, I want to try and do something on my own. But yeah, we took a trip to Key West in February, and I went live in Key West. Great
Did
move.
You really?
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I was like, had all this stuff scheduled on Instagram to like post, and the website went live in Key West.
And all the product back home?
Yeah.
And you're just going to ship it when you got back home?
I guess that's what I did. I was like, shipping turnaround time is blah, blah, blah to work out for our flights.
Oh, my God, Caroline.
No, it was a good learning lesson. You just like, I have mad respect for people who are a one-man band.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's a lot of work. I mean, you're wearing all of the hats.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I did clothing. I don't know if everyone knows who listens to this, but it was an online woman's boutique. And to keep up with inventory and future planning in the clothing industry, you're planning for like the next spring.
Oh, yeah.
And I was planning for
with
like
orders
the
and
next
trends and
month.
everything like that.
Yeah, I had no. I mean, I wasn't big enough to plan that far along, but everything when you're shopping on these wholesale sites was planning for like future seasons. I'm like, I don't even have anything to put live in 2 weeks.
Right.
And you're not even selling anything. I don't know. It was a lot.
And then by the time you get it and post it and then ship it and then people get it,
it's out of season.
Wow.
So it was like a lot of, learning lessons.
Yeah, what did you learn from it? Like, is there anything that sticks out today? It's like, man, I'm glad I did that.
I mean, it is just a good feeling to know I took the chance. Like,
That's fair.
I took the chance on myself, you know? Like, I had the thought, and I didn't let it sit. So, like, with you with this podcast, same thing. Like, you've wanted to do something like this, and you just finally...
Did it, yeah.
Yeah, the fire was
lit. I just bit the bullet.
But, I mean, I think it was just the experience knowing that I can do something like that, knowing I'm capable of starting my own business and also making a profit. I did make a small profit, which was crazy. I was open for like 6 months. I think February to August.
That's pretty impressive considering all the money you have to spend up front.
Yeah, I did. It was crazy.
God, that'd be gut-wrenching.
Yeah. And
First order.
Yeah.
Because you can't just order one or two things.
No. When you're ordering for a boutique, you have to order like 3 of every size. So small, medium, large, extra large. And then like...
Oh, so there's already 15 pieces of clothing right there, 12, whatever.
And I also learned that, you need to find wholesalers you trust. And, like, I wasn't going to a market. I wasn't going in person. There's, like, big markets in Dallas and New York and Union Travel. I was just going offline. Some stuff would come to me with, like, paint mark from when they were when you stitch or sew, you sometimes mark with
like chalk or something like that. Yeah.
And I remember I got a whole box of these white like blouses that all had blue ink marks all down the sleeve. And there's like a non-returnable, nothing's refundable.
And you can't get it out.
And it was like a box of 100 plus of this shirt.
Oh my God.
And no, I think I donated it or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, bid it. So stuff like that you learn. So I never use that wholesaler again. But that's stuff like that you don't think about. You just think it's going to come in pristine condition.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you have to quality check. Which I did think about doing the drop shipping thing. But then when I saw that happen, I'm like,
you have no idea what they're going to get then.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like a tricky thing. I know drop shipping can be very successful. Mm-hmm. Did you do drop shipping for your merch?
Yeah, I did.
And you had because we got everything and everything was fine.
Yeah.
But yours was also more like coffee mugs.
Just throwing the logo on something.
But this was like full on.
Because you were doing like white label, like you wanted the brand.
Yeah.
Like the brand of the clothing, whereas I didn't.
Right.
I don't give a shit what it is.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But honestly, like at the end, it just got more stressful than fun. And Dominic and I talk about how the worst day of the week was when I had to pose with the clothes on, because Dominic would have to take the photos, and we had this huge backdrop, and we would get in the biggest tiffs over the lighting, and like it was like an 8-hour Sunday.
It was probably gonna take forever.
Trying to take pictures, because you have to get pictures of every angle, and it was just. The lighting was never the same every Sunday, so the website didn't look cohesive, and then I would get mad, and then he would get mad, and then,
Jeez.
never want to do that again.
Jeez.
We made it through, but we talk about it a lot because it was not, not fun. That was probably my least favorite part, was taking photos.
What was your favorite part?
I did like shopping for the clothes because I like shopping. I don't know. It was fun to create my own, like logo, brand, theme. You know, pick out your colors and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it seems like it was a lifetime ago, honestly.
I had a handful of friends that ordered stuff from it.
Oh yeah, I had.
I bet that was
crazy.
cool.
I mean, when we went live the first night to see, because on Shopify you can see the blue dots around, and it was very. Like overwhelming. I was overwhelmed with gratitude because I was like, oh my gosh, this many people want to buy my stuff, which was kind of encouraging. And then when I started to not have stuff for the right season, when I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, the numbers started going down. I don't know. I wasn't passionate enough to keep it open.
Which you also never would have known.
Right. Well, that's another thing. Like, I needed to try.
Yeah.
Or it always would have been a thought in the back of my head, like, what if I would have done this? You know, but yeah, it was crazy.
And then from there, that was about 6 months.
From there, I got the LinkedIn sponsored.
So that would have taken you to like.
That took me to August, and then I started.
Of 21.
And I started in November.
With City Flavor? Wow.
And I was their second employee.
What?
Yeah.
Like founder, CTO, COO, and you?
No, and then there was one, that they hired. Then there was one more.
Wow.
Before me, like
so you were like body number 5 or whatever. That's crazy. Now you think you're at 20 something?
I think so. I mean, I go back Monday, so on maternity leave. A lot could have happened in 4 months. I've tried not to talk about work I've texted my coworkers, but we keep it more personal, like they're checking in on me, checking in on them, trying not to talk about work.
Yeah.
So maybe we were up to more than that, but...
Oh, I see.
It's been crazy to see the development.
Yeah, I bet. It's probably because the people that are there have to grow with it. Like
There's a handful of us that have been there for... A lot of people are hitting their 3 years. And then we have some, people have come and gone.
So you'll be hitting your 4th year.
In November, which is really crazy to think about, that I've, lived... The stuff that's happened while I've worked at this job, personally, is crazy. Like, some of my coworkers have seen me do, like, a lot of stuff.
They probably never know where you are.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing next? Yeah, a lot of them have seen me, like, live in Madison, come here to get married, live in St. Louis for a few months, get married, move to Florida, have a child, move back to Missouri.
Yeah.
All in this 4 years. It's crazy. It's been fun, though.
Yeah, it looks like it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a crazy. I think we're here, though, for the long term.
You think? Looks like
I
you're
think
planning
I
on
know.
it.
Yeah. No, we definitely are. We're excited. It was tough to move, but
It's good to have you back.
yeah, it's good to be here.
That was something I want to hear your perspective on it, because I think, and I talked to Nina about it. Like one, I think it's important to travel and see things. That like study, I learned a lot from study abroad. But I never moved away, and I think it's fascinating when people one move away, but B move multiple times.
Yeah.
Because that's impressive. I think that goes underappreciated for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It is tough. It's tough too when you don't know anyone in the new city.
So for people that don't know, you were here for what, 8 months after you graduated, something like that?
So I graduated in. Well,
May.
I didn't move until I graduated in May.
And you left in like January or December, maybe.
December, like right after Christmas, right before New Year's Eve of 17.
You were graduating. You would have
No, I
graduated
didn't move to
17.
Madison until 18 because Dominic did an extra year at Purdue, and he didn't graduate till May of 18, and then he moved in August of 18. I moved in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I moved in December.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I swear Karen was home for longer than 8 months.
Yeah, it was like
Almost 2 years then.
Yeah.
18 months, whatever.
Yeah.
So then you were in Madison for what, 2 years then? 3 years?
No,
3 years?
4.
Fuck me.
I only know because I counted the winters. Fourth winter was I was ready. I love Madison. Madison's a lot of fun.
I love Madison.
Summers are great. It's a really fun town. Lakes are beautiful. The winters are tough.
And they're long.
And they're long. And you get a lot of snow. If you like snow, Dominic loves snow. You would love it. I just, as you know,
don't
love snow. I can do it for Christmas. Would love it for Christmas. Prefer warm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was nice to have all 4 seasons. But just, it was getting to be a lot. And
It's funny how many people I've met that have now, like, lived or whatever, but spent time in Madison. And it's more often than I would expect. But everyone says the same exact thing. But everyone has glowing reviews of it.
I mean, it's...
Everyone I know that freaking loved that place. I did too, every time I visited.
Yeah, well, there's so much to do. And also, it's a town, even though the winters are crazy, they're doing stuff outside, like,
oh, yeah.
year-round.
Yeah.
I remember when
they're
you guys would
natives.
come and visit, and people were... Britt always tells a story about how she pulled up and there was, snow piled up, but our neighbor was outside reading their book on their front porch, which is just so typical.
It's freaking 15 degrees.
Yeah. No. It's crazy. But yeah, I moved to Madison. We were there 2018 to 2022. Then we came here to get married.
You're here for like, what, 3 months probably, 4 months?
Yeah. And then we moved to Florida. Got married in May, moved to Florida in June. Went on our honeymoon. And then we were in Florida from then in 2022 till March of this year.
It's about 3 years.
Almost 3 years. I actually just got a memory yesterday. 3 years ago yesterday, we closed on our house.
No way.
Which is crazy.
That's nuts.
To think about, just like
ago
everything.
Yesterday. So you got married 3 years ago.
Yeah, our 3 year was Memorial
Day.
28th, but yeah, Memorial Day weekend around.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now you've been here for what, 4 months now? 3 months? 3 months probably.
March to, what is it? June. Like, well, I don't even know. Maternity leave is crazy. Yeah, almost 3 months.
So what did you, like, how do you view moving and how has it affected you? Do you think it's important? Do you think it's, what did you learn from it all?
I think it's important. It's a good question. I personally like to travel, and I like to explore new places. I don't know. So, backstory, I moved to Madison because Dominic got a job there, and he could not be remote. And I was long distance. We were long distance in college. I didn't want to be long distance again, so I asked my company if I could go remote. I moved there. I don't know if Dominic hadn't got a job there, like if I would still, or if I would have been in St. Louis this whole time,
Oh, sure.
Because if it weren't for him, I would not have gone to Madison.
Right.
But it also was a decision I made to go. Like, I didn't have to go. Mm-hmm. And I think I was excited. I mean, I remember I was newly out of college, and I wanted to try something new. I'd been in Missouri for 4 years. I mean, no, I'd been in Missouri my whole, like, from what, 6th grade till I graduated college. I just wanted something new. And I mean, I think I learned a lot. I learned how to make friends. It's hard to make friends post-college.
That's what I couldn't, I literally can't imagine.
I will say, do not sleep on Bumble BFF. I was very, like, hesitant about downloading Bumble BFF solely because I did not meet Dominic on an app, so swiping for friends was a weird, concept for me.
I have never heard of this. I didn't know that was a thing.
This is how I met, well, most of my friends in St. Pete. Shout out St. Pete. But I did download it in Madison, and it does depend on the city. It was not popular. It's like Bumble, but for friends. So I made an account in Madison, and honestly, it wasn't as popular in Madison, and I didn't make many friends off Bumble BFF, but it is a good experience, and put yourself out there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I will say in St. Pete, it was a different story. Everyone in St. Pete, there were all my friends in St. Pete I met on Bumble BFF.
They're all transplants.
Yeah. No one is from St. Pete that I was friends with, which is crazy.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. It is tough, though, because I feel like, and it goes true to my friend group, a lot of them are moving back because they did just get married and they're starting families and they want to be close to their family.
Oh, so everyone's moving out of St. Pete?
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, don't sleep on Bumble BFF. It is awkward at first.
Yeah, how do you do that?
And you, like, to send the first message, like, feels like you're hitting on them almost.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, you read their profile and you kind of have to, go off of what they say. I did try and, like, find people, or if I found people who had significant others, I would try to do, like, a double date first, because then it would be, like, a double win. Dominic could get a friend out of it. I could get a friend out of it. But yeah, it was super interesting because you're swiping left and right.
Yeah, that's wild.
On a profile, which seems harsh.
Are these all same sex then?
Yeah, you can filter, like, I could have done both. You can set your settings to, like, what you want to see, age, all the things. But, yeah, that's how I met.
Jeez, I never knew that.
Yeah, crazy. I did not download it here. We have friends here. I don't know if I'll need to use it here. But Bumble BFF, if you're moving to a new city, wouldn't sleep on it. And ClassPass, that was another thing I really enjoyed going to.
ClassPass? Oh,
yeah,
for different gyms.
For different gyms, which is also a good way to meet people as well. But specifically in St. Pete, ClassPass, it was a great way to, like, learn my way around the city and to figure out what gym you want to belong to. And then you also meet people while you're there. ClassPass and Bumble BFF for the new city people. New town, wherever you're going, I'd look into it. But yeah, I did move around. Don't regret it. I didn't like the winter in Madison, but I still loved my experience there.
Do you think if you and Dom, if Epic was based in St. Louis, do you guys think you guys ever would have moved away?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he didn't have to go, I don't know. Actually, it's funny, though. I don't know if I sent this. I think Mom sent this in our family group chat, like, months ago. But in 8th grade, I had to write, like, what I think I'll be doing in the future. And it said something like, I will be living in Florida with my husband or something. I, like,
no
wrote this
way.
on in 8th grade. It was, like, I don't know what it was for. Predicting your future, what you wanted your future to look like, which was crazy because Mom sent it to me. She found it when she was going through bins or something in the basement.
No way.
And, yeah.
Wow.
This is nuts. So maybe I would have, bounced around. I mean, we went to St. Pete not due to a job.
Right.
So maybe. I don't know about Madison, though. You said just that wasn't your question.
In general, yeah.
I don't know. It would be interesting to know, but we'll never know.
We'll never know. Yeah. Because Britt moved away. I never did. And, like, we always thought that we would move eventually.
Yeah, you wanted to go west?
Yeah, we thought about Denver for a bit. It was never, like, substantial. And then she was only home for...
Oh, because she went to Quincy.
Yeah, she went to Quincy. I think she was only home for, like, 2 years after. Like, we had no idea what we would do because we both lost our jobs.
Right.
And then we weren't going to move without jobs. And then started doing real estate, and she moved to Quincy, like, at the same time.
How long was she in Quincy for?
It's a year or 18 months. 18 months feels right.
Okay. I never went. I never got to see the place. I never got to see
Really?
Quincy.
Quincy's fun. It was a cute little town.
Well, that must have been when were we in Madison?
Yeah. So that would have been in 2020. She would have moved in like 2021.
Okay. Then, yeah, we were in Madison. But she may have still been there when we got married.
I think. I don't remember now.
Yeah, me neither. I heard Quincy was a cool little town, though.
Yeah, it was. I had a lot of fun every time I went up there. And she learned a lot from being up there because, one, exactly what you're saying, meeting new friends. And she's still friends with a lot of those people. Because it was, and like, it's like her friends, like, some of them are in their 40s.
Right.
And like some of them in their 50s. And like, there's, like, one of them's like.
That's so funny. So Brit, though.
Yeah,
Make friends
exactly.
with anyone.
And one of them, like, someone was in their 30s, and like, someone was a bartender or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were all over the place. But it's just like wherever she met these people. But she moved up there and she lived alone.
Yeah.
Which that's what I can't imagine doing that one. No. And like nothing against Quincy, but I mean, I think the population's like
It's a small town.
20,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, that is
40,000 people. So it's small. It's 38,000. It's smaller than Chesterfield.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Small
she probably
city.
learned a lot about herself
Yeah, exactly.
in those months,
Yeah.
which
She and Dom probably learned a lot about each other.
I mean, real quick, because we were long distance all of college, and then he graduated, and then I moved in, a few months later.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it really was like, we're just going to try this out and see what happens. But I don't know. I should have journaled. Joe, our brother, is so good at journaling.
He was saying that the other day. I didn't know he did it as much. I knew he did it. I didn't know he did it as much.
I'm pretty sure, well, I know. He was at my house today, and he brought his journal with him by the pool.
No way.
Like, he's
Good
just...
for him.
I
That's
know.
cool.
And I wish I had that to, like, tell you more about... Because you're asking me these questions. I'm like, I don't really remember how I felt, And I feel
Right,
like it'd
yeah.
be good to look back. Because when I was deciding to move to Madison, I feel like there was no question if I wanted to move or not. But, yeah. I mean, I wish I would have. I don't really remember, which is terrible to say. But I know I was excited.
Yeah, probably nervous as hell.
Yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous to tell our parents, too.
Yeah, I bet.
So I was like, can they tell me no? But no, I'm 18. Like, I can make my own decision.
Yeah,
I
you
was
can do whatever the hell
actually,
you want.
what was I, 22 at this time? I don't even know. But, yeah. I mean, it's been fun. I'm glad I've got the experience of, I don't know if you consider that north. Wisconsin is technically.
Yeah, that's north. That's way north.
Yeah. So I've gotten a little taste of, like, north, Midwest, south, real south. I don't know. They all have their pros and cons.
And why'd you pick St. Pete?
It was more because, so we were in between Austin, Texas, and St. Pete. I don't know if you remember that. We actually,
I do remember that.
before we moved, we did a long weekend to Austin, and then you and Britt went with us to St. Pete.
Yeah, we did.
Which was awesome. Austin was a great time. I think and it's a great, fun city, but we looked at it more as like a fun place to visit. We didn't know if we could see ourselves living there. Also, it gets really hot, and I know it gets really hot in St. Pete, but like
Texas
heat is different.
And there's no water.
Yeah, they have that lake. I forget what it's called. Freebird? Ladybird? I don't know. We picked St. Pete, though, because that whole area is very much our age group. And the beach had a lot to do with it. Pretty much our age group and the beach, I would say, are the top two things.
Lady Bird Lake, yep.
Yeah, Lady Bird Lake. Funny story, when we went there to visit, we went kayaking, and I didn't think to wear, like, my swimsuit in the Texas heat when it was probably, like, degrees of 10, and I had on cropped leggings. And when we got back, I had a tan line that looked like I still had socks on because half my ankle was out. It was terrible. But, yeah, that's why St. Pete was beach in our age group. And a lot of people were like, when I told them we were moving to Florida, they're like, oh, isn't that everyone thinks you go there when you retire.
Yeah.
And partially is true, but Tampa, St. Pete area is a very, like, young adult.
Big
young
time.
professional.
Big time.
And I had to do my research. I don't even remember what other cities I looked at in Florida.
Yeah, I was curious how you narrowed it down to those two.
I don't think we looked at the Atlantic side. I think we knew we wanted to be on the Gulf just because, like, we grew up going to places on the Gulf. Dominic grew up going to places on the Gulf.
I guess the only ones that on the other side have been, like, I guess Miami or Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, not the vibe we were going for.
I guess maybe Sarasota would have been in there. Daytona, probably not Daytona.
Sarasota is on
The other side, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we ended up in St. Pete, and it's really, I highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Our trip with you guys was really fun.
Yeah, it was.
And I feel like we knew when we were there.
We knew it immediately.
Yeah. It was just like, wow, we can live this close to this beach, and then downtown was awesome. You get the best of both worlds. You get your downtown scene, and you get your beach. No mountains.
Downtown St. Pete is awesome. I really like St. Pete.
No one thinks it's going to be like that when you drive in.
No, that is not at all how I imagined it.
And I know it's, like, heavily developed. Like, a lot has changed in the course of 10 years, but, I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I dig it. I dug it a lot.
The pier.
Yeah, the pier was sick, and the whole First Friday thing.
Yeah, First Friday. Yeah.
Seems like Nina's loving it too. It's funny because we thought about Denver going west because that was just like the thing to do, and like we love west, like we love skiing and that being outdoors and all that stuff. And not knocking it at all, but now, 7 years, not even, no, what are we? 6 years post grad. If we were to move now, Denver, I don't even think it'd probably be in the top 3 or 4.
Interesting. So you don't have regrets about not moving.
No, not there.
But
I do wish we would have tried something, but at the same time, like I'm very happy with what we've done.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have Clayton was great.
Yeah, we loved where we
This place is
lived. We
great.
love our house now.
Yeah.
I love the time we spent with our
And
friends
also,
and everything.
you have a lot of friends that live in cool places. I feel like you guys
Yeah.
have been able to visit, which is key.
Yeah, big time.
They do the dirty work for you, and you
Yeah,
get to visit.
exactly. We don't have to worry about anything. Kansas City was on the radar for a bit because there's a potential.
Interesting.
There's an opportunity for her for work,
Oh, I kind of remember this now.
and we had thought about it.
Yeah.
And like it'd have been fine because like I've got a ton of friends there.
Well, and it's like a good distance. It's not too far. It's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like I would have now I'd put Chicago up there above.
Interesting. Wait,
above
what are your top
most.
4 right now? Chicago, Kansas?
I don't know. It'd probably be Chicago and St. Pete for sure.
Wow.
And like we always talked about Dallas, and like
Interesting.
again that was just because it was like the thing to do. I've never been to Dallas.
Really, we went for our wedding. Shout out Kelly and Gio. Last year. That was my first time to Dallas. I may have flown through the airport, but I never left it. I mean, it's a pretty cool city. They have that Katy. Have you heard of the Katy Trail Ice House?
Yeah, and like the stockyards and all that.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I'm actually going to Fort Worth. I don't know if we're doing the stockyards, but I'm going to Fort Worth for a bachelorette
Oh damn,
in September.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't think we saw that side, but anyway, Dallas is really cool.
All my friends fucking love it, and like I wouldn't say I would move there.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Yeah.
But again, like that's what, because like it's just experiencing these cities. Like when we went to Austin for the wedding
Oh,
that
yeah.
we went to, it was in September and it was just fucking hotter than Satan. It was so hot,
It's really hot.
and I was like, yeah, there's no way I could do this.
Yeah.
There's no way I could live here.
And you're kind of landlocked.
And I think Austin's more south than Dallas, but like that doesn't even really matter. They're
No.
both there. They're both that hot.
Right.
I don't know where else I'd throw up there.
So west is not even.
Probably.
Like,
I
how
mean,
far west would you go?
Denver would probably be the most far.
Okay, that's still kind of far.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely, I mean, you could drive, but it's a flight more than likely.
It's just Denver. It's just a totally different style of living.
Oh, yeah.
And like, if you're moving to Denver, you're basically committing to the city. And like, I don't think we're city people. It's insanely expensive, and like we really like skiing, but it's not like I'm not dying to go
Right.
20 times a year, which I'm sure I would if we lived there.
Right.
I don't know.
That's interesting. I did not know Kansas City and Chicago surprised me for you. I don't know why. Those
I
are cities.
love Chicago.
You just said you weren't a city person, so
Yeah,
you
but
live in the
like,
burbs, or
I
would
don't know.
you?
I see. I don't know.
Well, I guess Chicago has, all those different areas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure one of them maybe feels like you're not in the city.
Right.
I get them all confused. But
Oh, so Chicago would have been like if we were ever buying somewhere,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have stayed. Like I think Chicago would have been fun for a short stint.
yeah.
But every time I go, I love it so much. I have so much fun there.
Yeah. We actually have, so a lot of our friends are in the Chicago area. Dominic has a lot of buddies who still live in the city. And there's a couple in the group from Purdue that actually, they live out in Boston. Mm-hmm. But because there's a lot of friends in Chicago, they get an Airbnb for the summer.
Whoa.
And they spend their summer in Chicago. I don't know. I think they've done it for 2 years now. I don't remember, but I thought that was really fun.
Wow.
Because I think they both work remote, so they could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Chicago in the summer, everyone raves about it.
Yeah. It's unlike anything else.
But I mean, I would never have thought to do that. And when they said they were doing that, I was like, dang, that's not a bad idea. But
yeah, because it probably, if you're already living in a city like that, it probably evens out with rent. Mm-hmm. I've never spent time on the East Coast, so I like to think that I consider like Charlotte or something. But again, never been there.
Have you been to Charleston probably isn't your vibe, but have you been there?
No, I want to check that out
it's
too.
It's really cool. I don't know if you'd live there. I don't know if I'd live there, but it's a really cool city.
We have some friends live in Seattle. A lot of good friends live in Seattle, but that's just so fucking far. Mm-hmm. And they all love it, but they just like, yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's just 72 and rainy, and I'm like, oh Lord.
No.
But it's cool to hear about there. One of them's, it's a couple of my buddies. Two of them are from Kansas City. One of them's from Seattle. And the one from Seattle, his parents have a house, like this cabin that's like on a lake. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if it's a lake. I think it's a lake. But it might just be like an inlet from the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets to 200 feet deep. So they'll see like whales and stuff.
That's crazy.
And they'll, when their family's at this cabin for Thanksgiving and stuff, they'll go catch fresh crab.
Oh, wow.
And have crab boils and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Fresh
it looks
crab.
so cool.
Dang.
But they are, they're far as shit.
Right.
It's 2 flights to get there.
Oh, yeah, easily. And a time change.
Mm-hmm. It's they don't come home often.
Wow.
The two Kansas City
kids.
kids.
This is their families? Who lives there?
I have 3 friends, Brendan, Tommy, and Charlie.
All live in Seattle.
All live in Seattle. Brendan's from there. Tommy and Charlie are from Kansas City.
Dang. And did you already say how they ended up out there?
Brendan's from there. Brendan's from there, and then I think Tommy and Chuck just wanted to try something new.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't know why I don't know why. They're all really good friends.
Right.
Right. Not knocking that, but I don't know why they picked there over anywhere else. I have no idea. But they've moved there. They moved there pretty quickly after school, and none of them. It doesn't seem like they're coming home.
They're lifers.
Yeah, it seems like they could be.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I've never spent time on the West Coast either. And going to Arizona, one of my coworkers from Flagstaff, he has this crazy setup where he has he works here, he works with us, and he comes to the office every day. But he works from home 6 months out of the year from Flagstaff, which is 2 hours north or an hour north of Phoenix or Scottsdale. But he does 3 months there, 3 months here, 3 months there, 3 months there. And he's coming up on his 3 months here, so he's about to leave again.
What the
and
heck?
his first day back here in St. Louis was the day after I started.
Dang.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's a crazy switch up. And he's obviously so excited to go back there.
Wait, so is it just because he wants to live that way, or is there
I have no idea. He's an interesting cat. I'd actually love to get him on here.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
I don't know.
So he does trimesters. Sounds
basically, yeah.
Or what do you call that? Yeah.
It's quarters, I think.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's doing 4 months right now. So I don't know. He agreed to 6 months here and 6 months there. However, it's broken up.
Oh. Okay, so it doesn't have to be consecutive. He can split the 6 months in half.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I don't know how, because we're not that old of a company, and he hasn't been there since the inception. Oh. So I don't know if he because he drives too. When he goes home, he has a 20-hour drive.
What?
with his wife and 2 dogs. Yeah, yeah, it's
So that
crazy.
takes up 2 days of his 3-month
Yeah,
leave.
it's crazy.
Interesting.
And like I don't know if like when he was like talking to them or what, if he was like, "This is how it's gonna be,"
Right.
or because it seems like it's been this has been the situation since he started. So it's not like, "Hey, prove your worth," and then we'll talk about this. It sounded like I'll work for you if I can do this, which is crazy.
That's wild.
To get to the point that when I spent time in Scottsdale early this spring, I couldn't live there either. Way too fucking hot.
It's on my list of places I want to. It's dry.
Yeah, it's actually the only time I've ever bought myself and used chapstick. Like within like 12 hours of being there, I went and bought chapstick.
That's the worst.
And it was in like March, which like it's not even the worst of the worst.
Well, would you still say it's somewhere to check out?
For sure. It's such a cool
I
area.
don't even think I've been. I mean, this is gonna sound dumb, but the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Is south? That's not considered the desert.
Yeah, high desert. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I was gonna say I've never been to the desert, but then I was thinking of the Badlands. I'm like, I mean, that's kind of
That's more like
mountainous.
yeah. I guess it's technically mountains, canyons maybe.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Southwest of desert. Yeah, I don't know if it's technically called that, but yeah, you can call it a desert.
Mm-hmm. So wait, going back to you said you had like a top 4 maybe of places you would live. Would that list change for your top 4 of where you'd want a second home?
Yeah.
Do you know those places?
Question.
Like, for me, I mean, it's tough because I moved to St. Pete, but we've talked about, like, maybe in the future it'd be really cool to own a second home when we can, like, closer to the water.
Mm-hmm. Would it be in St. Pete?
I think St. Pete was just so special to us. Like,
I don't blame you at all.
we kind of, like, made it our place, kind of like how we grew up and our family's place was Marco or Naples.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of made that for our family,
Yeah.
our newly established family being St. Pete. And I think we'll go to St. Pete. Like, we want to take Angelo there, maybe for his first birthday at some point, which would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And we'll probably, Dominic grew up going to, like, Santa Rosa, Destin, and I know that's a great family travel. We'll probably end up going there, too. But I think St. Pete would be where, if we wanted to afford a second home, if we could do that one day, would be there. I mean, he would love to have something in the mountains, which would be cool to have 3 homes.
Right.
But I don't know.
That's interesting. Because my immediate thought is Naples or Marco or something. I would say Florida for sure, just because like the year-round thing.
Yeah.
And like if you're doing that, then you're like, I don't know, everything that comes with it. I don't know. Britt would probably say the lake or the mountains, which I can't argue to do the mountain thing because of the year-round activities.
I was gonna say it is year-round either way you go.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah, different what you're doing.
Yeah.
But whatever it would be, I don't know. That's a good question.
A lake house would be fun too, though. It's close and it's on water, but there you kind of are limited to, at least Ozarks. I feel like you're limited to Memorial Day to Labor Day on your boat.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's beautiful. I have never been in the winter. I don't know. It probably is pretty. Does it freeze? Is that a silly question?
It partially freezes.
So people go out there and
like the cove, like where you swim might freeze, but like hardly, like a couple feet of it.
Okay.
The whole thing doesn't. No.
So it's not like Madison where they're out there ice fishing.
No.
And
It's
playing hockey.
No.
Beer pong.
Yeah. Ice fishing. That shit was crazy. Like all the fraternity houses.
Mm-hmm.
I'd follow up on that. I don't remember what it was.
What? The house. Second house. Well, I was thinking with Florida, you have the natural disasters of the hurricane.
Yeah, me and my friends have talked about it. It's kind of funny where if you pick somewhere to live, you just kind of got to pick your natural disaster you have to deal with.
Well, like, what is, I guess, like the mountains would be the amount of snow you get?
Yeah, Davis got snow like a month ago.
What?
Nick Swearinger went skiing a couple weeks ago.
In June?
Yeah. At A Basin.
And
he's in Denver.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Huh.
Which, like, I don't know. I love snow. I don't love it that much.
No.
And also, like, I've had for if second home or if I were to live somewhere else, I've thought about this with every time we visited you in either place would be the ease of getting to it. To get back home to see people. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's two, and, like, that's why I think it's really easy for people to live in Dallas or Denver. Because it's one, it's an hour and a half, 2 hour flight and you're back home.
I mean, that's how Tampa is, too.
Right, exactly. Whereas, like, if you're talking anything farther than that, it's, I mean, like, the flight to, what's it called, Arizona on the way home, it's a 3-hour flight, but it's a 2-hour time difference. It's a 5-hour shift.
Yeah.
And it was a long day.
Yeah. Same, I mean, when we flew back from California, those travel days are no.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's only, 2 hours for Colorado? Right?
Time difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it 1? I think it's, no, is it 1?
I think it's 1.
I get confused because we were Eastern.
I think it's 1.
In St. Pete. Now we're Central. Interesting, though. Well, we'll see in the future. We'll come back, and we'll let you know where our second homes are.
Yeah. On round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think travel's fascinating. I think you can learn so much from it. Learn, like let alone about yourself, but about everything in general.
Well, I will say, speaking of travel, my biggest thing, if you're traveling internationally, is to pack a carry-on. Because on our honeymoon, we lost our luggage for 30 days.
That was such a fucking nightmare.
And I would say that is one of the biggest things I've learned while traveling. I don't know why we thought we were just invincible and like there wasn't the possibility of losing luggage when we're traveling to Greece and you're hopping islands. But yeah, carry on.
So you carry on.
I'll check domestically. I thought I was going to be scarred for that, but I still check domestically, especially if it's a direct flight. But internationally, no. I will always.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, with customs and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be. What about like Mexico?
I checked. I just recently went a couple of years ago for bachelorette, and I don't remember what I did. But I don't know. I will never not bring a carry-on if we travel internationally.
Noted.
Again.
I need a good carry-on. All I have is like a huge duffel bag and a suitcase. I was actually given a pretty nice duffel bag for that wedding. But I need like a true rolling carry-on. I don't have one.
Nice. I like my away.
A lot of people are getting those. We just bought someone a...
Vase.
Yeah.
I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, that's exactly whatever it is. We just got them, and it seemed pretty nice. I just can't get myself to buy.
It's expensive.
Yeah, to spend that much money on luggage.
No, it's crazy.
It doesn't seem like it should be that expensive.
No. But I guess they're adding all these, like, the hard shell, all the wheels move. I feel like you can get something for cheap, though, if you go to, like, Target.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. But the last one I bought, I did buy from Marshalls or something, and it broke like, the second time I used it. So
Good old Marshalls.
Yeah.
Marshalls.
I'm curious from me and Kennedy's podcast, what we talked about, and, like, how you did child development. I forgot about that. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, human development and family studies.
Tell me about being a mother.
Oh, boy. It's been crazy.
So you're 4 months.
4 months.
The other day.
4 months in. Yeah, it'll be 4 months in a week tomorrow.
It's a beautiful little boy.
Yes, baby Angelo. It's been crazy. I was thinking about it. I think about it every day. 'Cause I'm like, you get pregnant, you have this baby, and then they're just like, go and raise the child. There's no like.
Hit the ground running.
I mean, you can read a lot of books and you can do.
There's no warm up.
I know. You just kind of like have the baby, and if it's your first one, it is what it is. But I mean, it's been amazing. I've learned a lot, lots of learning lessons. There's just like you don't know until you go through it. Like that's kind of what I've talked about with my girlfriends who are also moms now. Because we had friends who have been pregnant before us and some are on their second already, and it's kind of crazy. Like I even texted one of my friends. I'm like, I'm so sorry that I did not reach out to you during this time because you just don't know what they were going through at that time. And now that you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I didn't say anything, even postpartum, because your hormones are trying to get back to normal, and it's just like, what's happening? But no, I mean, I love being a mom. I am, like
That's
I said.
so crazy to hear.
I know. And lots have happened. I'm 30. I'm a mom. I now live in Missouri, which I didn't think was going to happen this soon, but here we are. Honestly, the second I got pregnant, I was like, yeah, we got to move back. There's no way I'm raising this child. I mean, you see how fast he grows. Like, you guys would have never, you probably, like, he would have looked completely different every time we saw him if we stayed.
Yeah, it'd be like the once a quarter thing.
Yeah. But no, mom life is I'm only 4 months in. It has been incredible, and I'm very lucky to have Dominic and our family so close, like, to help. I think support is crucial.
The old saying, if it takes a village.
Yes, it really does take a village. It's kind of indescribable. Like, I don't know how to answer the question of how's being a mom.
It's just so crazy to see. Like, it's like, I have friends that have kids, like, you think about it. It's like, oh, yeah, I'd like to have kids one day. Then, like, obviously, I mean, call it firsthand or secondhand, but watching you do it, I'm like, this is fucking nuts.
Well, it is crazy to think about because everything I'm doing now, like, on a day-to-day basis, I had no idea.
Right, like, your life is completely
You
changed.
just learn. Well, and even just, like, how much to feed him, when does he eat, how to put him down for a nap, how to bathe him, like, what does his crying mean, or what are these cues with his hands, and, like, all this. There's just so much to learn, but you just do it, you know?
You
You
have
don't
to.
have an option.
Yeah, there's literally.
Yeah. But just thinking back to when I was pregnant, yeah, you hear all this stuff. They tell you how to prepare. Like, but the best way to learn is to be thrown into it.
Yeah, sink or swim.
As much as you know beforehand, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It matters, but, like, you learn the most while you're doing it because you never know what your situation's going to be. But no, it's been great. And I love hanging out with him. And it's really fun to, like, see the world through his eyes. It's so crazy to watch him. Like, at first when he still can, black and white are, like, the images he can see right now. And to see how happy he gets over just black and white images, I'm like, I can't wait for you to see.
Does he color?
Like, everything around, because it's just going to be, like, this whole other world for you. No, it's been great. I have listened to, we've recently got into some reggae nursery rhymes.
Oh, yeah?
I found out that reggae music, apparently babies like something about I don't know what is the word?
Something in the rhythm or something?
Rhythm, yeah. Soothes them.
Huh.
So I found this artist on Spotify called Reggae Randy, and he has albums of all the nursery rhymes. They're great.
Oh, that's fun. Reggae Randy.
Yeah. It's pretty.
This little lion-looking guy?
Let me see. Is it yellow? Yeah. He's got some good stuff. Sometimes I accidentally turn on the car and my CarPlay's connected and that's what's playing. Sometimes it can be embarrassing, but it's a good time. It makes nursery rhymes, like, not as repetitive. I feel like. Yeah. Is this Wheels on the Bus?
This is really funny.
It's great. And he just kind of chills. We listen to it while he does, like,
This has
funny things.
30 million views.
That's insane. I don't even know how.
And then the next one's Old MacDonald.
I forget what my favorite one is.
That's funny. Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Yeah, no, it's great. It has all of the classics on there, and he's done his own version. But that's probably one of my top mom tips is turn on Reggae Randy when they're a little upset. It usually calms them down.
Yeah, because you probably haven't gotten to the point of, what's that one chick's name? Miss Sarah or something?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't think it's Sarah. Rachel?
Miss Rachel?
I don't know. I really just.
That feels right.
I know. Is that a TV show?
YouTube or something?
Yeah. Also,
Miss Rachel, yeah.
And Bluey. People talk
Yeah,
about Bluey
Bluey
all the time. We're not there yet. He'll watch the screen. He's probably watching stuff he shouldn't watch. But hopefully he's not remembering any of it.
Supposedly Bluey's, it was made and I guess, like, directed or whatever is the correct word, with, like, child's development psychologists and stuff involved.
Interesting.
And, like, that, like how they speak and, like, how the colors are placed and, like, how objects are moving is, like, very intentional. And, like, whereas, like, I remember watching this video, and, like, with Coco Melon, if you watch a Coco Melon video, like, everything that could be moving is moving.
Yeah.
And it's like like
Oh,
you
that's
don't know it,
interesting.
but like in the kid, he doesn't know it either.
Yeah.
But it's like incredibly overstimulating and overwhelming them, but they're just trying to take it all in at once. So when it turns off, they freak out.
So is it
Whereas like
good or
Bluey,
bad?
Cocoa Melon's like supposedly really bad.
Interesting.
Because like there's whatever
Too
I
much.
saw, yeah.
Oh.
Like it's like the bus song,
Yeah.
and then like it goes like the bus is driving, and the wheels are spinning, the bus is jumping up and down.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see all the kids
Oh.
in the windows; they're moving too,
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
clouds are moving, and there's music.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they're like, what do I look at?
Yeah, and then it goes into the bus, and every single kid is bumping up and down
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Whereas like Bluey, it's like.
Isn't Bluey just moving? I feel like nothing else on the
yeah,
screen is
it's like a
moving.
watercolor
Yeah,
picture, and then just
yeah.
like the dogs moving.
Yeah.
And like their tone of voice, it's.
Wait.
I think it's fascinating.
Also, Bluey, I'm pretty sure, you might have to fact check me, but I think dogs can watch Bluey.
Something like that. Yeah, I think
I don't
so.
know if it's the coloring or if it's the sound. I don't know, but I put on Bluey one day for Lou, I'm pretty sure, and she was like locked on the screen. I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's the same thing. Does it say anything about dogs on there? Or did I just make that up? Maybe I just made Lou watch it one time and thought she was going to like it.
There's articles on this.
Huh. That's wild.
So maybe check out Bluey before you check out Cocoa Melon.
Yeah, we'll check out Bluey. We've already got him Bluey bath toys, as if he can play with toys in the bath right now.
Really?
Yeah.
One of the apartments we toured the other day had the entire bathroom is Bluey themed.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Oh, that's funny. No, being a mom is great. I'm excited.
With all those like warm up stuff and like the classes and the books or anything, is there anything that like actually sticks out or like you remember? Is like, wow, I'm glad I remember that. I'm glad I read that. I'm glad I did that.
To be honest, I did not read a lot about what to expect, like at milestones
Oh,
for my child. I was more so reading about what to expect during my pregnancy with my own body.
yeah.
Which that was super helpful, just to know like this could happen and not freak out if this does happen to you. Most of the stuff, like for him and his milestones, I wait for the pediatrician. I'm like, can you tell me what he's supposed to be doing right now? Because social media is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Like, you can just, I don't know, especially TikTok. They're like, oh, your baby should be doing this, but really that's for a 6-month-old to be doing.
Right.
And then I'm stressing that my 4-month-old isn't doing what a
Right.
6-month-old is supposed to be doing. But yeah, it's interesting you asked that because I didn't really. I mean, you take classes or you learn about how to change a diaper or burp your
Right.
child. But most of the research I was doing was just for present time, what is happening with my body right now, and then also learning about what can happen at birth. After that, I didn't do anything. We just took the child home and we went from there. But yeah, I don't have much to say about what did I take away for.
What would you tell new mothers? Expecting mothers.
Oh,
What would you tell Jim and Alexis?
I would say I'm very excited for them. It's going to be amazing. But don't have any, in terms of the birth, don't have any expectations.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That was like my biggest thing because they tell you or they encourage you to write a birth plan of what you would like to happen, how you would like your child to be birthed, and what techniques, how you would like, all the things. I quickly learned that I should have labeled it like a birth wish, instead of a plan.
Yeah.
Because that's, you
I
never
hope
know,
this
anything
goes-
could
yeah.
go happen. You don't know what your baby's going to decide to do in there when you're going through it. And so just to go in with like, it's okay if what you thought was going to happen doesn't happen.
I see.
Like, you're surrounded by people who've seen it all.
Right.
They'll take care of you, whatever. But that's my biggest thing is like, don't go with the expectation like this is probably what's going to happen because you never know what's going to happen. But outside of that, I mean, just enjoy it. I mean, I always tell myself, because I'm always like, what is he going to sound like? I just want to know what he's going to look like. What color is his hair going to be? But I'm like wishing away time.
Yeah.
And to
yeah.
try to not do that would
That's
be
good.
something I would encourage. But it's hard not to because you're just like, what's your voice box going to sound like?
Right.
Or are the blue eyes going to stay? That kind of stuff. How
How's
tall
he-
are you going to be?
How's he going to do his hair?
What sport are you going to play a sport? Are you going to play an instrument? Are you going to draw?
Right.
Like all these things you just want to know. But like, just try to look at your baby who can't speak right now and enjoy
That's good.
what
yeah.
they look like.
Yeah.
Because I know,
It's going to be gone ASAP.
I mean, a year from now, I'm not going to be able to, like, hold him like I hold him or,
Right.
he's going to be running.
That's how me and Joe were talking about that exact thing on Saturday, seeing Channing.
Yeah.
Because he's about a year older, like
Right.
14 months older or whatever.
And it's crazy to think that that's
And he was
even
walking.
possible.
He was, like, literally running around and walking.
I know.
And going down the slide and stuff.
I know. Rachel's like, this is going to be you next year. I'm like, how?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, even at your wedding in October, he should be crawling around, which
Right.
is, I mean, now I see you guys that video, he's starting to roll over. So he's getting closer to that, which is crazy to think about. Or to even look back at photos and videos I had of him from, like, the first 2 weeks and now what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild how fast they grow. But, yeah, my biggest advice would be don't have any expectations when you go in, and then to enjoy it and to not wish away time. Because
Right.
I already know time is a thief. But, yeah, I'm excited for them. I can't believe your friends are starting to get into
Yeah.
the baby chapter.
There's a couple friends, but I don't see them often that have kids. I've got a couple friends with 2. Close friends, Jim is the first, yeah. And then, obviously, Channing. But I don't see her as much as I see Jim. I plan on going straight to the hospital whenever
That's
Jim
so
has
exciting.
theirs. Yeah.
And your team, girl.
I think it's going to be a girl.
Ah,
Just because who Jim is, I think it's going to be a girl. It would make sense for the family. They've got enough boys.
I know, but part of me is like, I feel like
It's going to be a boy.
It's
It's for sure going to be a boy.
I wonder, do you remember what Britt's been right?
Spirit has been right. I don't know what she
I forget
said.
what she said. I feel like she said boy, but I,
I think
could
she
be
did
wrong.
too.
I mean,
don't know.
are they, you said July.
Due July 7th. And
Oh, they're like 2 weeks out.
yeah, she could pop anytime.
I can't wait to hear.
And it sounds like they're ready.
Oh, yeah. She's at the end where you're just like, all right.
Yeah,
anytime
he
now.
said just the anticipation.
Right.
And like they're just,
Wait, did they tell you names?
they told us one name.
Or is it like secret where you shouldn't be putting on the podcast?
I probably won't say it.
Okay.
They told us one name for a boy, excuse me.
Okay.
And I think they have like a couple names for a boy, but none for a girl.
Interesting. We were the other way. We struggled with boy names.
Really?
I had like 4 girl names. I could have named my girl right away.
Huh. That's
The
wild.
boy, Angelo's name came to us the week before. We were at an Italian steakhouse, and we were standing there, and the hostess yelled at one of the servers and was like, Angelo. And Dominic was like, Angelo. I don't know if you've heard that story.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Angelo is also Dominic's middle name, so it fit. But, like, we'd never considered it as a first name. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, all right, we can add it to the list, and then we'll see.
Yeah, so when he said that, did it click for you too?
Kind of, because I was like, oh, Angelo, Joe. Like, trying to put a middle name to it. And then when we could get, what do you call when you can take the first 2 letters of a first and middle name, like AJ?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not a nickname. I mean, is it a nickname?
Let's find out.
Because
What would you say? What do you call it when you go
I feel
by
like it's
initials?
I feel like it's a nickname. They're gonna say nickname.
The initials is an abbreviation spell where we call an acronym. That's not what I'm fucking looking for.
But we knew we wanted something. If we were gonna use a name, because it's a pretty Italian name, we wanted something that could be.
I guess it's just that's not doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. It has to be. I'm sure it's just nickname.
Yeah,
But we wanted something that could be.
it could work like that.
Yeah, I don't know. So we've kind of set the tone for the next names that I will not be sharing ever.
Like another AJ, CJ, TJ.
No. Like Italian, American, Italian.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I would
think
be. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we can't get too Italian because we're not like, we're not extremely Italian people.
Yeah.
But the Italian side, Dominic still carries
Pretty heavy.
pretty heavily. So we're trying to keep it in the family.
Do you know if Michael and Madeline would lean that way? Do you have any idea?
I'm not sure.
Also, who's the Italian? Tom's mom, dad? I guess it'd be Tom's dad.
Berra, yeah. And I think there might be some on Lisa's side too, but I think it's primarily Tom, Papa Tom, Berra. And because Dominic's great-grandpa is also Angelo.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Angelo
So then for
kind of
sure.
goes up the goes up the tree.
I wonder what Berra is. What that means.
Oh, I mean, you could probably look it up.
I can. Do have this.
You've been looking up other stuff? I'm sure you can look this up.
What does Berra mean in Italian?
It should be interesting.
Bear.
Bear.
Italian, mainly Lombardy, perhaps from the medieval personal name Berra, which may be from ancient Germanic bear. Italian, in some cases, a habitational name from Berra in Ferrara province. Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I also think about, like, if we're able to have, more kids, am I going to have both genders, or will I just have all boys? It's really interesting.
I guess there is something you can do about it. But, yeah.
Well, I know. I look at Angela. I'm like, are you going to be the older brother to, like, all boys, which would be crazy? Or maybe I'll just have girls for the rest of like, however many I can have.
Because, like, we just know our family is just
right
who we are.
Right.
Wow.
I know. Which is kind of fun. Dominic's like, you need to stop thinking about the next one.
Focus on this one.
I'm like, so what do you think about this name? He's like, are you kidding me?
Oh, my God.
I don't know. It's a fun time. And it's so fun to see him with, like, you guys. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because we haven't been around babies in...
No, ever.
I mean, maybe Shelly's kids were the closest we were around, like, young.
Yeah, but I hardly remember that.
That was a long time ago, too. They're in high school now. So
we would have been, what, 12?
Yeah.
10?
Yeah. And for me, like, I was 10 when Joe was born.
Right.
And that was 20 years ago. So.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
I know. But it's really cool to see you guys interact with him. And I'm excited that he gets to grow up close by. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it just would have been, think about every day, like, totally different if we were still in Florida. I don't know what it would look like.
You think you just have, like, the neighbor over every day? What? Do you think you just have Do you think you would just have the neighbor over every day or something?
I mean, it'd probably be more like full-time daycare.
Wow.
Which, we maybe could have done here, but since we have family help, they were offering to help us. That's why we went part-time daycare. But, yeah. And I don't know how often you would have seen them.
Right, no.
Because we only came in the summers and holidays. And
then we try to come down like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be like once a quarter. Mm-hmm. Which I feel like every time I see him, he's getting bigger already. And that's once a week.
Right. I know, it was crazy. Because when I told Dominic I was ready to move back when I was pregnant, he was like, his head had never moved. Like, it's like, what? Because I was so, like, I knew we were eventually going to move back low-key.
But it wasn't.
I didn't think it would be, we'd only be there for 2 years. Like, I was thinking we'd probably be there for 5 and then maybe move back before we went to school.
Like, do daycare down there and then come back for preschool or something.
Yeah. But then, like, I don't know. It must have just been a shift in my mentality. I was like, there's no way.
Really?
Because we even toyed with the idea.
Was this, like, as soon as you got pregnant or, like, throughout the pregnancy?
Second trimester. I was like, we should probably start looking. Because it was... when did I reach out to you? I was...
Yeah, it was whenever I was down there, which would have been September, October, whatever that was.
Yeah. So I was, like, pretty adamant about it. But he was like, oh, my gosh. It was crazy. But we're here.
That's good you say that about, like, appreciating the time and, like, what he is now. Because, like, my first thought about having kids is, like... the age of, like, the sports age.
Yeah.
Or, like, showing them movies and taking them on vacations. It's like, how are we going to, like, what school are we going to go to? And, like, that's so far down the road that I'm not even thinking about the time now, the infancy of it.
Yeah.
Which is, like, obviously just as important. I'm sure you'll cherish that just as much as all the other times.
Right. Yeah.
So that's good to hear. That's really good to hear.
No, the newborn stage is, like...
Because you will lose track of time ASAP.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And this period of development is like so much happens from not being able to do anything to walking within a year. Like, that's wild.
That's what I found fascinating about talking to Kennedy. Because she was talking about, like, I don't remember what it was. It was like the 8 key stages of development. Like 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 8, whatever, and so on and so forth. And like it makes perfect sense, but like I just never thought about it. But like right now, it's so important for him to be held and like swaddled, so he knows he's like safe and protected and stuff like that, and like secure, which is like it makes perfect sense. But I never would have thought of that as like a development thing. Like if
Right.
you don't hold the baby, he's always
Right.
going to have like a lack of
Yeah.
security in his life.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And how much they pick up just from
Yeah.
observing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wild. I was actually, Dad made an interesting comment the other like week or so. He was saying how wild it is where human babies like need to be nurtured and cared for so much like to survive. Mm-hmm. But if you think about an animal,
Yeah.
they just like have the baby and then it's
Yeah. They come out like
It's
walking.
you're out on your own. Like it's so crazy. Mm-hmm. Like
Because we're the only thing that like needs, like birds, yeah, but even birds are flying at like,
Right.
I think it's like weeks.
yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, that was a little off topic. I
And yeah,
thought it
like
was interesting
giraffes
to
and
think about.
horses come out and they just
Or
like
deer.
land. They land on their feet
Yeah.
basically.
Right. Cow.
Yeah.
Cattle. Interesting. Yeah.
Is there anything, because you being the eldest sister, is there anything that you feel or have noticed about being the older sister to us three that has helped you or prepared you for parenting?
Interesting.
Just again, Kennedy made that point about like how just as much as parental, but like how much siblings affect your development, which again never thought of, but makes perfect sense.
Right. That's an interesting question. I feel like yes, but it wasn't like, what's the like? I wasn't aware of it. You know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, I'm sure I've learned a lot and acquired a lot of knowledge and what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I've learned how to take care of I've learned how to take care of people.
Yeah.
Or just like, I don't know if that makes sense.
So let's see. You and Joe are 10 years, 9 years.
Oh, yeah. I was changing his diapers for sure. But even to like,
So yeah, when you were driving, he was. Is that kindergarten?
well, yeah. Yeah. Or maybe pre-K, but probably kindergarten.
Wow, that's wild to think about.
I know, I was just telling Dominic the other day that Joe and I used to go on like Sonic dates.
Yeah.
We would go get some slushy and some food, and it was like his favorite thing. But it's crazy to think that I had that with a sibling that was that young. I don't know, our age gap is so big.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
You know, like it's crazy to
because
think
we're
about.
basically the same age.
Yeah.
Like you never really knew me as like a little kid.
No, I did not.
Whereas like Joe and Kennedy,
Well,
I remember Joe and Kennedy being young.
Same. Yeah, I was pretty mean to Kennedy. Sorry, Kennedy. Yeah, it's crazy. How far are you and Kennedy?
4 years.
Is that what Joe and Kennedy are too?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like we were in the same grade half the time.
Yeah, literally.
But I don't know. That's an interesting question. I'll have to think about that some more, about if I've learned anything from being the eldest.
I'm sure it'll come to you at some point. Like
Yeah.
you'll be doing something,
Right.
and you're like, "Oh, I did this." Like I did this with Joe all the time,
Yeah. Interesting.
or Jack did that, and that's exactly what I did.
Right. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah. Is there any like again like the preparation thing? I was talking to Joe, work Joe, the other day, because he just had his, and I was asking him about like
Oh, yeah. He's on his,
second,
yeah.
like I guess you'd call it techniques. But like parenting techniques or things you know you absolutely want to do or absolutely do not want to do from things you've heard, seen, or experienced.
Yeah, I do think, and I think this one's a little controversial, but this whole term of like an iPad kid,
Oh yeah, sure.
I like have no problem with him looking at a screen or like being on a screen, but I do think we'd want to keep it if we could have certain time or allow X amount of time during the day. We would prefer, because this is what we don't want. We don't want to be when he's old enough in a social setting where he could be conversing with someone but needs to be on his phone to feel comfortable.
Right.
Like, I'd rather him feel like he has the social techniques to have the conversation rather than, like, have to, I don't know. Or, like, I don't want him to rather want to be on a screen. I'd rather him want to be conversing with a human.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know. And I know that starts pretty young, like, just making it a priority to kind of limit it and to maybe, like, read or have a conversation, just like, how was your day? Or talk about something to encourage conversation, or go outside. Dominic, I know, is going to be about being barefoot and then
Getting
grounding.
dirty.
We're going to be grounding.
Yeah, you are.
Which it's great. I think that's my biggest thing, though. I will say, and this is definitely to St. Louis. We've already been talking about high school.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not something we want to. Okay, so what we want to do is let him have the decision. We're not going to be like, you're going here. We've already talked about that. That's another thing where, like, we're not going to force St. Joe or DeSmet.
Sure.
But that's to St. Louis. That is not like a
Right.
typical parenting technique.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't want.
There's a lot of pressure that comes with that on
Yeah.
a kid. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like, no, you can't go to X because I went here. Blah, blah, blah. So those are two things that come to mind, is trying to limit screen time and encourage other things, and then giving them the choice of where they want to go to school.
That's fair. Those are good ones.
Yeah, pretty on opposite ends of the development stage, but I don't know,
Important nonetheless.
some things you think about. Yeah.
The school thing I find interesting is it's.
How do you feel about it? Are you gonna, if you have a boy?
I'm the same way.
CBC?
I'd love for them to go that way,
Yeah.
but like again, like I could really care less.
Right. Yeah.
I would probably put my foot down on a couple of them, but
I know Dominic will too.
I could really care less. And like I think it's important to give the kid the choice because you want them to make the decision they want to make,
Right.
which is what we were given. But that's something I don't want to say struggle with, but that I think about a lot because of literally where we are and like the school districts. Is that I don't. It's not that I'm not better off than any of my friends that went to Marquette or Lafayette, but like it's. I don't want to say I am.
Right.
Like we're all in the same position, really.
Right.
And so like I don't even have like a preference of if they go public or private, really.
Yeah. No, same.
Which I feel like a lot of, like it's again like a lot of my friends could have gone to private school. They went to Marquette or Lafayette.
Right.
And I don't even know if it's they were given the option. I'd be curious of how that one worked. Because they just kind of went to those schools all their life.
Well, you kind of just follow, like,
Yeah.
usually you feed it, like, they're feeders.
Because, like, I don't really have any friends. Like, I was between a couple, like, CBC and Chaminade DeSmet. But, like, I wasn't between, and again, it's not my money, so, like, that's a whole different conversation. But, like, I wasn't between CBC and Marquette. And, like, I don't really know anyone that was. But, like, all of my friends that went to Marquette definitely could have gone to CBC. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like
Have you asked them?
No, I haven't. But like none of it's never
Come up.
it never felt like they
Right.
would have.
Oh, interesting.
But like if they would have wanted to, they definitely could have, kind of a thing. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, it's wild.
Which is because that's what a lot of people ask me. Like, would you send your kids to public school? It's like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Marquette and Lafayette are fantastic.
I mean,
Eureka's a fantastic school.
The whole, like, Parkwood, Rockwood districts are
Yeah, they're incredible.
really good districts. So, yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. But to each their own. Like, if some people are pretty adamant about keeping that in the, like, legacy, which I get.
Yeah.
It's really cool to be able to, like,
Say that.
go to your events with your, dad or whoever that went to your same high school as you, or to see them on the wall or whatever.
That was crazy at CBC. There was like some like grandpas went to CBC.
Right.
And I was like, that's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. No, it's wild. But, I mean, yeah. We've already talked about it just because. Well, I also think I brought it up because we didn't grow up in an area that had the opportunity to do things like that.
Right.
which may be why I have the mindset that I have. I don't know.
How you were developed.
Yeah. Because for us, it would have been like, if we would have stayed in Ohio, probably just there was no other. We would have stayed within the Xenia schools, whether it was.
Yeah, from St. Bridget, where would we have gone? Just Xenia?
No, I think there was a Catholic high school. I'm blanking. I honestly have no idea. Wait, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll never know. But yeah, it's interesting.
Because what was in middle school? Wasn't it just Central?
And, oh gosh. There's one other one. I don't know the other one, but Central would have been the one we went to.
I, like, vaguely remember Tecumseh. So vaguely. And I remember also St. Bridget so vaguely. Like, I can see, like, the inside of the buildings, but, like, I can't really walk around the building. And in that middle school, I remember going to it on the bus, but I never saw the inside of that school.
Central?
Yeah.
I don't know if, I think I went to, like, maybe some sporting events there, but Tecumseh has changed tremendously. Because I've gone back.
Really?
Well, I think they, like, knocked it down and redid the whole thing. Doesn't look the same at all. I drove around when I went and visited a few years, or when I graduated college, I went and visited my friends there.
My God, Nick's restaurant.
Oh, OG. Place is so good. The OGs never fail.
Wow, this is crazy to see.
Yeah, it is crazy. You have to go. When's the last time you've been?
Ludlow. Holy fuck.
You probably went. I think we went together and visited. Did we fly? Do you remember when we flew alone?
I do remember that when we flew alone. There's our house. Is that our house? That's not our house.
It looks very different. It's all fenced in. Or there's a big, like...
I think that's our house. That's our house. Yep, it's fenced in.
I don't know if they have horses now or what, but...
Looks like it.
Is fenced in. I'm trying to remember.
What'd you just ask me before that?
When's the last time you've been?
Oh.
Well, I think it was when we maybe...
I think it went another time. Because I went when I was probably 8th grade, maybe freshman year of high school.
Oh.
Something
By
like
yourself?
that. No, I think I went with Mom. I don't remember. I stayed with Nathan, rest in peace.
Hello.
And I went and saw Jake.
Oh, yeah.
And it was after Jake went through that whole thing. Jake Belvin.
So...
And, like, Nate and Austin, I saw them. And they were, like, rebuilding mopeds. So we had, yeah.
What the heck?
We had to be, like, 14 or 15.
Huh.
We weren't 16. I think we were, like, 14 or 15.
So it's been over 10 years.
Oh, yeah, it's been a minute. I've been
You're
back
going to be
since
29 or 28, 29?
29.
That's wild. 29.
29. Yeah. I do want to go back. I've been curious to see what it's like now.
Take Britt.
I know.
Show her around town. You can take her to Groceryland.
Fairgrounds. This is fucking
Fairgrounds.
crazy to see.
Yeah, that would be something.
I don't even know, like if we went, like, I don't even know what I'd put in the maps.
Our address?
Yeah, like, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd go to Nick's, be like, all right, I don't know. I'm out now.
That's funny. I mean, there's like the little...
Holy shit, Killcare Raceway. I remember that, too. The fucking drag strip thing.
Uh-huh.
When was the last time you went back?
2017. After I graduated, I was like, I'm going to drive to Ohio and visit everyone.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I went for like maybe a week. I stayed with Kelly or Lindsay, one of the two, and I saw everyone. I drove. I got to see Nancy before she passed.
Yeah.
They all live in Bellbrook now. They're not even in Xenia anymore. But yeah.
That's crazy. A lot of my friends there have kids.
I think I didn't realize that one of the Reigerts. I don't know if it's the one in your class, but he has a kid.
And
Maybe Connor or Austin. I don't know which one.
Lizzie has a kid.
Shout out all our Xenia Ohio
Yeah,
people.
what's up? I wonder if any of them listen to this. That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
If I was him and they were listening to this, one, thank you. Two, I'd be like, holy shit, he remembers us?
Oh, that's great.
Because that was such a, I mean, no offense, like such a little part of my life because of how young I was.
You're in 4th grade?
Yeah.
I had like 12 years there, so it was pretty.
And like, I kind of remember 1st grade. I kind of remember 2nd grade. Kind of remember 3rd grade.
Well, because you went to St. Bridget in 4th.
Yeah, for half a 4th.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think I follow anybody from St. Bridget. No offense, people.
We weren't there very long.
I couldn't even tell you their names.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was like, what, 4 months maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it was because of spring break. Wow.
People are listening. What the fuck are they talking about?
What is Xenia, Ohio?
OH, everybody.
I
I'm telling you, I'm not lying.
funny.
This has been fun.
It has been fun. I feel like we don't have this time,
No, you usually don't.
and I'm usually not here,
Yeah.
so this is cool.
I think that's what a lot of people. Because I don't. Did you have expectations of what we were gonna talk about?
Not really. I thought you maybe would bring up being a mom and my job,
Yeah.
but outside of that, I wasn't sure where this was gonna go.
That's what no one ever does. It's like, I'm not gonna ask you life-threatening questions.
Right.
But
That's funny.
people always say that when they're done. They're like, I never talk about that shit. I'm like, yeah, when's the last time you sat down and talked to someone for that long?
I have to ask. So after off the mic, some of these guests you've had, have you found yourself having deeper conversations with them, just like in passing, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you feel like you can conversate better after having this, whatever 2-hour
100.
open mic?
Yeah, 100%.
That's cool.
I see Dylan a lot at Lifetime. We get into it a lot. And, like, we'll text you because you, like, talk about, like, real things you
Right.
might not normally talk about.
Right.
Or, like, things that, like, I don't know how to. But, like, me and him will text each other about, like, what we're working on in our, like, personal development lives now.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or,
Yeah.
like, if I talk to somebody about, like, journaling or something, they'll, like, text me about, like, their
Right.
most recent journaling session or something.
That's really cool.
Or they'll send me, like, podcast episodes that have, like a really cool guest that gets into, like, really deep, like, on child development. It's like,
Right.
you would really like this.
Right.
Sick. Thank you.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is really cool.
Yeah.
Which is why I like it a lot.
Right. No, that's cool. I like this concept.
Thanks. What
Uh,
podcast do you listen to?
Honestly, I was a podcast like 8 hours a day
A
person
junkie? Really?
before I got pregnant.
Really?
And then, I don't know what happened.
Like, when you worked or, like, how? Like,
yeah, I
when?
listened to it when I worked. When I had like busy work, that was just like more cleanup or
It's like
admin
typing away
or-
and stuff
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Or long drives. But when I got pregnant, like our travel kind of went down. So I didn't have a lot of time. It was just like, I don't know if I lost interest. Some of the podcasts I listened to were putting out like 2 a week, so then it got a little overwhelming.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I just kind of, I don't know. I also wonder if TikTok had something to do with it. I feel like I resorted to TikTok in my spare time, which podcast you don't really do in your spare time. You're doing it as like a multitask time. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know why I stopped listening. I'd like to get back into listening to them.
That's a question I don't ask these people, but I'd like to start asking them because I think it's because there's so many podcasts. It's like YouTube channels. Like
Right.
there's a YouTube channel about everything.
Right.
There's a podcast about everything, and like you can get as specific, detailed niche as you want
Right.
to with
Right.
podcasts. And I think it's fascinating to hear about which ones people listen to
Right.
because it's the same. If you like go on their YouTube history, like you'll really learn about some people.
Oh, I'm sure. Mine were more like trash TV, reality, Bachelor.
Really, like breakdowns.
Yeah, and just like keeping it up on like what's going on in people's lives, like stuff that isn't useful knowledge. Just like
That's okay. It's entertainment.
yeah. I don't know. I would listen to some crime. I found some of that kind of interesting. Some of it spooked me a little too much, so I had to cut it out.
Britt listens to a lot of that crime junkie. True
Yeah,
crime.
that's one. I forget which ones I would listen to. What else? It's pretty much crime and like reality TV stuff was what I was listening to. And yours? I knocked out a lot of yours in our Florida drives.
Thanks.
Because it's a long drive. And I don't know. Listening to yours is funny because I feel like I'm talking to you on the phone, and I would sometimes catch myself, like, responding out loud. I'm like, shit, this is a podcast. Jack is not on the phone.
That's funny.
It's happened to me, like, twice. I can vividly remember. I don't even know what you were talking about.
Were you trying to chime in or something?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm losing it. But, no, I like listening to yours. It's fun, too, because they're friends of yours that I maybe wasn't around to get to know, like, in your college years, because I graduated. I mean, I was there for, 2 years of your 2 years of your college experience?
Yeah, but one was my freshman year, so it's
Yeah,
like it
you were
hardly
meeting
even counts.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've enjoyed listening to yours for sure.
Thanks.
You have some pretty interesting people on here.
Yeah, I meet a lot of people. Well, that's why I like doing it, because like you meet these people. It's like, damn, I wish I could talk to him longer. Or like you hear something in a conversation. It's like, I really want to ask about that, but now's not the time or place.
Right. This is true.
And then, yeah, with because like I think like some people suggest podcasts. I'm like, how the fuck do you listen to this? This is like the most boring shit I've ever heard. And like I don't. And they're like, dude, I've listened to like 20 of these. I'm like, I couldn't listen to 10 minutes.
Well, also,
of this.
is it the voice?
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
that's a huge thing.
That's something that a lot of people say.
And I also don't like structured ones.
Like, you can tell they have a plan.
Or they're like reading a script.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
I can't do that.
No. Or when, like, the vibe is off with the guest.
Yep.
And you're like, dang, these people I definitely haven't met before, and it's not going well.
I also can't do Zooms, which sucks. I have a lot of, like, shows that I really like, and I see there's, like, a really interesting guest. And I start it, and I can tell it's on Zoom. And I'm like, I'm not listening to this.
I thought you meant, like, you wouldn't host someone on Zoom.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Just because I hate
People
it.
do that. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
like, if there's a Zoom episode, I won't listen to it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I've definitely listened to a Zoom episode, and I know what you're saying. You can kind of tell they're talking through a computer.
And there's, like, a cutoff in between the sentences, and then, like, if there is a time where they, like, talk over each other, it's, like, very evident that they can't hear the other person.
Okay, also ads.
Yeah.
I know ads are probably big for a podcaster. That's probably how you get paid. People get paid. But, one, I'm glad you can skip through them.
Yeah.
But, like, I hate when they just, I don't know.
I hate when they're in the middle of it. I don't mind if it's in the beginning.
Same.
Rip your freaking 5 ads, whatever. Yeah. But if I'm like an hour and a half into this and then you start reading an ad, I get upset.
And
I get
some
really
people
upset.
are so smooth into it, like they're having a conversation.
Yeah, and they fade in, like they continue the sentence or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
Which have you looked into? Like, when can you start adding ads?
It's.
Do you pay or how do you?
I don't get paid. That'd be sick if I got paid.
No, like how do you get an ad?
You can get them through anybody. There's agencies that'll do it. It's
you pay to promote, or
you basically have to show your proof of like how many downloads and how many people listen per episode.
Oh.
And then they pay you by per 1,000. Per mil is what I think it's called, which is the same thing that YouTube does. And so like YouTube, I think it's like $1 per like every 10,000 views or something like that.
Huh.
And then this is like, I don't remember what the actual, let's see, podcast per mil, or mil rate or something like that. CPM, cost per mil, yeah. Mil means per 1,000. If a podcast CPM is $25, that means you get paid $25 for every 1,000 listens that an episode receives.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, so if you have 10,000 listens per episode, you would get $250 per ad.
What about a discount code? Like if you could promote a brand and they give you a discount code, do you know how that works?
No, I don't.
Do you have a brand that you'd want to have a discount code to promote?
Yeah, a bunch. I've thought about that. Just because it's like shit I use.
Right.
And like I get free shout-outs all the time. I actually did that with my old phone case. Oh. I did it, and I was talking about this, and I was like, oh, by the way, it's like if anyone needs a phone case, it's the best phone case in the world.
That specific one?
No, this is like a couple years ago. And then I cut it and put it on Instagram, and the company commented on it.
Did you tag them?
Yeah.
Huh. What'd they do after that? Get a free phone case?
No, nothing happened.
What?
Yeah, but they commented on it.
That's cool. They saw it.
Yeah, and I was like, this got me nowhere. I don't know how Discode. codes,
Discount
discount codes
codes.
work. I don't know.
I feel like you'd have to reach out.
Yeah, and like I don't know if like you have to sell like $100,000 worth of stuff to make $1,000. I have no idea, but like I know like the big ones like Call Her Daddy and Rogan and all that because they get millions of downloads per episode. But I'm like, I think total is probably like a couple thousand. It's like maybe 100 downloads
Well,
per
that's pretty
episode.
impressive, though.
Yeah, thanks, but I'm very far from that. You have and like and then some people do like by downloads, and then it's by listen rate, and like because you can see how like, what percentage of people listen to like the first minute versus like the first hour.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So.
Wow, I learned a lot about podcasting.
Yeah.
What number is this? Do you know?
Is this 30?
No way. That would be crazy. It's like you planned that.
It might be 29. Is this 30? Man, I feel really bad. I don't even know my own.
You have too many to keep track of.
28.
Shoot.
Damn, sorry.
We're close.
I can hold off on posting it for a while.
And no, because then it went in the line.
Man.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, no. I just turned 30, so I'm going to make better sense. But, oh well. No
Yeah.
worries.
Thanks. This is fun. We're at
Yeah,
a
thanks for having
$1.45.
Wow. That flew.
Yeah, it flies by.
That's crazy.
It's a lot of fun.
Huh. Well, can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
We might be having all the siblings on one next time.
Yeah, I'd like to. I did it at this table. I have Dad's old poker table, the green one. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And that soccer one I was talking about, I'd like to get it set up around that so it's more of like a round table,
Yeah.
which would be no problem. It's just changing tables. And that one's more suited for people. This one gets kind of crowded. And the last time I did it with the arms, because I got to put them on the corner, it blocked the camera. So, like, you can't see anyone's face because it's all
Yeah.
it's a mess. But I'd like to. It's a lot of fun. The 4-person one was fun, and then we did it one time with 4 people when we played Catan.
Oh,
It was fun.
interesting. That
Yeah,
game
but I didn't
goes on
post it because I
forever.
started listening to it. I was like, this is fucking terrible.
Wait, I was just thinking of an idea, but I don't know if I should tell you the idea. Well, I should tell you the idea. What if, like, this stuff's probably really hard to travel with? Yes.
Yeah, that's another thing that's, yeah, keep going.
Well, so how cool would it be? And I don't know how this would work, and I feel like this would need to be more a surprise for you, but now it's not a surprise. But, like, if you were to be able to take this to your wedding and have people,
Oh, that would be cool.
like, I don't know, just, like, talk about you and Britt, or, like, I don't know, you conversate with your groomsmen, or, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, something
That's a
like
really
that.
good idea, actually.
I don't know, so you could document something from your wedding.
Because, like, really, like, if you just leave this on and you just hit record, you can say something
Oh.
and then hit stop.
Yeah.
And then it could just have, like, 1,000 recordings on there.
I mean,
That's a really good idea, Con. Thanks.
you should maybe.
It's really not that hard. That box over there has the rest of it.
Oh.
But that's actually something I've been thinking about doing because there are some people I'd like to have
Wait,
on.
you should totally do, like, this is going to sound ridiculous, but on The Bachelor, they call these, IBMs, in between moments,
Oh.
where they just, like, have this in a room that no one else can go into, and people go in and talk.
Oh.
And they just, like, I don't know, to make comments or, like, reflect on their date or whatever. And, like, what if you just, like, had a prompt and you just sent people in, you can't hear them, I don't know.
And then I don't get to see it till after the wedding or
Or
something.
you listen back.
Yeah, right.
You can put your intro in and be like, I don't know. That'd be funny.
That's fun. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I have not seen those though.
Oh, well,
But it'd be
don't
like
watch
the-
The Bachelor.
Yeah, I don't watch Bachelor.
I was like, no, I would be surprised. It's not a problem.
Oh, so this is like a thing. Okay, okay. I was like, how'd you get this idea? This is really good.
No, no. They, like, it's in between dates or something. They just, like, film.
I see.
They, like, yeah, they show just a talking point of just this one person talking in a room.
That's a good idea.
I think it's called In Between Moments.
Britt would like it too, because especially I have everything.
Yeah.
So it'd
and
be really easy.
I mean, yeah, if you guys had the prompts, or just if you made an open mic, like a message for the groom and bride, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, because it'd be really easy to mash up together.
Yeah. Or, sorry, I know we need to, like, wrap this up.
No, I'm in a rush.
What if you could record speeches just to have on record? I know maybe you'll get a video or whatever from your wedding, but, like, if you could have your best, or whoever's speaking at your wedding. Like, I know Kennedy and I might be given to speak at the first welcome, whatever.
Yeah.
If we could have speak into something that would record it for you, just to have, you don't even have to post it.
Right. So we could always have it. I like that too. These are good ideas.
No.
I might as well. I've had that thought about traveling with it because I'd like to.
I mean, if you're driving.
Yeah.
It'd be probably a different story if you were flying.
Yeah, it's just another box if we're driving.
Right. And you could probably throw it in another car that's driving if you didn't have room.
That's because there's some guests. I've thought about getting something that I could, like, not a professional, but like a more suitable travel case for this stuff.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people I want to have on that.
Well, there's a lot of people going to your wedding probably that you don't see.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe you have some groomsmen that you don't see all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe make your bachelor day, like, part podcast.
The first 10-person podcast.
Yeah. That would be funny. Yeah. Or what if you could be mic'd on your fishing trip? That would be funny.
I'm sure Joe's got all that shit.
He has the glasses.
Yeah, he does have the glasses.
He'll get some good footage for you.
Yeah, he will.
But some stuff I would imagine would need to be cut, depending on how many.
Yeah, it'd be like the end of The Hangover when all the pictures are going through the credits. But it's just from Joe's point of view.
That would be funny. I'm excited for October.
Yeah, me too. I'm really pumped.
Oh, cool. This was great.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Love you.
Love you.
Thanks for being in here.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.